class of 2020. Thanks for watching along to this special interview with King Shrader, who's coming to us from California. We are so excited about your graduation, and we're so excited to welcome you into the alumni family. But we also don't want you to feel alone. We know that graduating is a really big, kind of scary step, and we want to be with you every step of the way. We want to help you out. So I brought Lauren along today. She's going to give some insight into that first 6 months to a year after graduation and what that looks like and how you can best kind of make it through that kind of weird, challenging time. So Lauren, if you just want to go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, honored to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is King Shrader. I graduated from Lipscomb in 2015 with a major in youth ministry and preaching. And yeah, go Bisons.
Go Bisons.
5 years ago. It doesn't feel that long ago, but
yeah. Well, cool. So you're so like you said, you graduated in youth ministry, and you were in Tennessee for 5 years at 4th Avenue Church of Christ in Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about now? Where are you at now?
Yeah. So I started my youth ministry job 2 weeks after graduation. I went on a family vacation out to Yosemite and the Tetons, and then 2 weeks later started to be a youth minister at age 22, which was crazy, and I can't even believe they let me do it. And then I was there for 5 years, and now I am still a student minister at a church called Campbell Church of Christ in San Jose, California. It's actually for you Bible majors, where Walter Serdacki had his first student ministry position. So I'm actually living in his old house, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's cool though. That is quite the journey. And you've had, it's interesting, having this conversation with you, just to kind of give some insight into our friendship. I was actually one of Lauren's interns as a student at Lipscomb.
When I turned very close friend and little brother, because I just feel like we were friends working together that year. And
absolutely,
summer, for sure.
It was so much fun. And I still have some of my best friends from that experience. So loved 4th Avenue, loved getting to work alongside you and Evan and Madeline and Emily. It was a lot of fun. Really, really good memories.
It was a special time for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It was really weird having interns being that young. I did remember like when I first got that job and feeling like that senior year when people start having interviews and getting jobs, and I felt like I couldn't, in front of some of my roommates that didn't have jobs yet, I felt like I couldn't even tell them that I was interviewing for a job. And I remember some people making comments about like, oh, it's so easy for you. You got a job like right out of the gate. But it did not feel that way. It didn't feel, and I didn't go in college. Like, it's not like I got the job of the exact major that I knew all along that I wanted to do. I didn't even know that women could do ministry until like 3 years into college. So I I started out sports broadcasting and did theater education, changed my major, did all that. And then the Lord, I happened to stumble across this job that I did not feel capable of doing, but it sounds a lot more fairy tale than what it felt, for sure.
Yeah. Cause even, landing a job right out of college, that doesn't really make life that much easier. I'm sure it does take some of the pressure off and it does take a lot of the weight off, but there's still so many challenges with just transitioning out of college life that you just don't expect. And just knowing that from my, now being a year out, it is tough. It is tough. So just to kind of, thinking through that first 6 months to a year after you graduate, just kind of talk about that a little bit, what that was like for you.
Yeah. So I was planning to hike the AT after graduation. I did not immediately want to get a job. And so though I know I was thankful and I was really excited, that was not the plan. And it went against, it kind of felt like it was taking away a little bit of my freedom to get a job, not only where I was going to be working alone, but also a job where it was going to be really demanding in the summer, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It was going to take a lot out of me. And I felt like I was going to be caved in a little bit because I had lived in Tennessee my whole life, and I got a job offer in Tennessee. And I was like, no, like I need to go hike the AT. I don't need to take this job. Like I need to go be me and do my own thing. And praise God, I had some wise voices in my life. Specifically, one of them was a serious boyfriend at the time who really wanted me to take the job. And I'm so thankful that his voice had the power that it did in my life at the time, because ironically, if I wouldn't have taken that job, my life would not be at all what it is now. The Lord has worked so much through that job, and I'm so thankful. And that job was like the best 5 years of my life. So that's 6 months after graduation. I was living in a house next to the church building. Some roommates in and out, but for the most part, I felt really isolated there, and in a space that was like scary. And as a female living alone, sometimes like extra scary. There were parts of that were really weird. There, like, I wasn't prepared for, you go from like living with your parents and then you go to having roommates, and then, oh, now I'm in this house by myself in a non-residential area, and I heard a noise outside that sounded like someone was breaking in. I hadn't had those moments of fear yet in my life, especially because like at Lipscomb, it's like one of the safest campuses and everything's great. And that was something I didn't expect. I didn't know that I had so much more fear leaving Lipscomb, even like being alone walking in a parking lot, than I realized I had, because of the amount of like the safety bubble that was there, not just the emotional bubble. I don't know if you've felt that as a male. I don't know if that's different, but that's definitely something that I experienced that I didn't expect to experience, because I'm not a fearful person. That's not me. And I didn't think it was. So I was living alone. And 6 months after graduation, I got dumped, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm doing this youth ministry job at a church with no one my age. I just got dumped and I'm living alone. And I totally thought he and I were going to get married. Oh crap, I'm screwed. And so 6 months after graduation, I actually entered into a crazy season of life where the Lord was just like wrecking me and breaking me and teaching me to hardcore choose him. I went on like what I now refer to as like my sabbatical, where I didn't date anyone, because it was like, not dating, like it's me and God. I'm going on a maternity leave and I'm done. And so I like thought that I was going to be getting married soon out of college and living in this house with this guy that really loves students. It's going to be awesome. And he's great. Like, God bless him. He's wonderful, but we didn't end up together. And I'm so thankful we didn't. But I thought that that's the way it was going to be. And then I found myself, I was in 7 weddings during that time, which, like, for you Lipscomb grads, a lot of you probably know there's a lot of pressure for that. And I found myself in this like, whoa, I'm single, I'm living alone, I don't meet people my age, my friendships from college are starting to fade in some different ways, and I'm like, my activity on the weekends is being in weddings. And it was isolating. It was isolating and lonely for sure, but also a time where I feel like the Lord really taught me to be his, in a super fun, challenging way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really like that you talked about kind of the isolation aspect of living alone, and having this relationship, but yet that ended not the way you wanted it to, and yet still having to be in all these weddings and having to share in those moments, but not having that for yourself, and it's tough. And I just know for me too, like with my first 6 months out, that feeling of isolation, that's like real. Mm-hmm. Especially when you are so involved as a student, you are so just, every day you're around all your classmates, you're around all your people in your clubs with, you're around your teammates, you're around, all these people that you've come to know and love. And now all of a sudden you jump into a job setting where like you're the youngest person there by like a decade. And you don't really know how to relate. Like, they're talking about their kids, they're talking about their spouses, they're talking about like things that I have no idea how to relate with.
Their 401ks and I'm like, what? Like, I have student loans. I don't have time to save for a 40, what? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's tough. So that, so I'm really glad you mentioned that, because I don't think people prepare you off often enough for that kind of period of like, you're about to separate from all these people and you're about to have this totally new community that's going to be a lot older than you, and it's going to be hard to fit in. It's going to be hard to relate. It's going to be hard to transition. But I kind of want to jump down in our questioning to, how do you overcome those challenges then?
Yeah, the Lord. It's interesting, like living alone. So I struggled with depression. There I had two rounds of it, I guess you would say, in college, and then one outside near that season, that 6 months out season. And it was weird because in school at Lipscomb, I had my best friend at the time, like literally would pull me out of the bed and be like, nope, like you're going for a run, you're going to class, like let's get your crap together, come on. And when you're living alone, when you're depressed, it's really easy to not tell anyone, and it's really easy to let just the anxiety and the weight overcome you, because no one's seeing that you're going to stay in bed till however late and not have motivation to get up, not have motivation to sweat, whatever it may be. And so it was a time where though it was so hard, I really learned how to call upon the Lord and depend on the Lord in the ways that he speaks to me. And so I had to be intentional. I had to get outside. One of the biggest ways I receive words from the Lord is through nature. And so I knew, I don't care if it's raining, I have to get outside every day. Like I have to, that I have to consciously do. I have to be more worried about that and more disciplined to do that than I do about brushing my teeth or whatever it may be. With normal, like you put gas in your car when it's running on empty. I have to go outside every single day. And so in that season, I made myself do it, even though I didn't want to. And of course, I mean, scripture is just like calling upon, like the Lord is near the brokenhearted, Psalm 34, huge. I felt so much peace knowing that God was holding me, and that even though I was so broken, and just lamenting truly, with reading the Psalms and really connecting with David on that, like Psalm 130, and just like, hear my cry, God, and voicing out to God and becoming really real with him. I think until that point in time, I didn't fully understand that I could wrestle with the Lord and that he was up for the wrestle, and I could be mad and I could be frustrated and really be transparent and show my true emotions with our Father. And so through that time, getting to really, I feel like our relationship became so much more real because I was able to really show my emotions. And also in that time, I feel like I found the freedom, I'm still learning this, but found the freedom to say no. In college, I feel like we're always told, especially at Lipscomb, it's like, do everything at Quest Week, say yes to all the friends, like do this, do that. Of course you should do Singorama. Of course you should play that intramural. Like say yes if they want to go to a Waffle House at 2 a.m. and you do it. And that's like, right. Like that's the good thing. I'm not saying that that's bad, but I had done that type of social training for 4 years in a row. And so during this season of sadness and isolation, I had to teach myself that it was okay to say no to hanging out with people if that meant for my mental, like the better mental health and the better like moment for me that I needed with the Lord. And it was okay to say no to certain friend groups that I wasn't feeling encouraged by, or that I felt more isolated because I was with them. That's okay. But it was hard to learn because you were told for so long to say yes to everything. So it was hard to learn how to say no. But I think in learning how to say no, I found more of my true identity and who the Lord was shaping me to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, so just to recap, then I'm hearing, invest in your relationship with the Lord. Take time to, focus on your mental health. Take time to focus on, strengthening yourself and giving yourself the peace of mind and giving your body time to relax and recuperate and not feel like you have to like go find things to give you fulfillment. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great stuff. Thanks. Well, last thing, and then we'll be done because, again, I don't want to take up too much time. I just quick little points to kind of guide this class along as they graduate. But what piece of advice would you give to graduates then to help them in this first 6 months to a year out?
Yeah. So 2 main things. And I wish someone would have told me this first one for sure, because no one told me this. And I so wish they would have. And I'm thankful that y'all are doing this. I think this is great. It's okay that your community can change, and it's okay that your community isn't just like you. I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm searching for community, meaning they're searching for someone that's in their same life circumstance, most likely their same race, and doing the same thing they're doing that's their same age. And quite frankly, that's bullcrap. That's not community. That's looking for yourself. Like, what does it look like if we're truly seeking out people that we can learn from and learn a different worldview and value and differences? That's so much more a form of true tribe. And I found myself 6 months to a year out of college. My best friend was mid 40s, and she to this day is still one of my best friends. And I felt so comforted when I was with her, and our times were so true and real and deep. And I also had this voice in my head of like, you don't have friends your own age. Like, you need to have friends your own age. And it took me 3 years to truly acknowledge, no, I have good, deep community. It just so happens to be that none of them are a young married white couple sitting in the same neighborhood that I'm in. Heaven forbid that they're younger than me or older than me or look different than me or act different than me or aren't in the same occupation. Like, I think it's really beautiful when you do land that new job to say, okay, yeah, my coworker is 20 years older than me. How can I pour into their family and love them well and experience community with them, rather than saying, oh, I don't work with anyone my own age. And so you're in the same, like, once you're out of Lipscomb, it's weird because you've experienced life with all these same people, and like one person a year younger than you call your little because they're like younger. And it's like, no, you guys are like totally the same age. And I get it. Like, I did that. I feel it. But once you get out, you have this opportunity to be really close with a senior in high school, and they might be more mature than you in some ways, and be a friend, and you can learn from them and they can learn from you. Or right now, like, we're new in California, and I don't know many people, but one of my neighbors who's 4 years old, her name is Maggie, and I feel so loved by her because she says my name and she sprints over to me and hugs me. And I feel so loved by her. And so I just really want to challenge you guys as you're transitioning out, that your community doesn't need to be a bunch of people in your exact age range with your exact life circumstance. Have friends that are married, have friends that are single, like have friends in different life circumstances. If you're looking to have tribe just with people that look like you're gonna end up feeling lonely because you're only experiencing similar views to your life. It's okay if your best friend's 45. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. Went on a rant there. Sorry. And the second is, even in the midst of the transition or the turmoil, trying to get a job and not finding one, trying to balance new friend group and coworkers or students from Lipscomb that you're not quite sure if you're going to be friends forever, trying to figure that out, whatever it may be. I just am always so convicted by John 10:10 of like, Jesus came for us to have life to the full, like a bigger and better life. That doesn't mean easier. And so as we're going through and as we're having the moments of struggling to get out of bed and not having anyone to pull us out, or walking through a parking lot in fear, like, he came that we can have life to the full, like bigger and better. And it's not always easier, but a life with him is so much more full. And so I believe that you have that opportunity and that choice daily to choose him and to choose a fuller life. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. Yeah, community has been a huge part of just my first 6 months to a year. Also, just, pressing into what I do have, pressing into the church family, the relationships that are right there close to me, even if it is people that are, way older or way younger or whatever than me.
Mm-hmm.
Having having those people that you can go to regardless and just experience and do life with them is a tremendous help, just mentally and emotionally going forward. So that's really great stuff. I really appreciate you getting on with me today and sharing some of your insight with our seniors, especially kind of in this weird time where like their last couple months have just vanished, and it's sad.
Yeah, that's hard. That's really hard. I've
Yeah.
felt for you guys. I've been praying for seniors in high school and seniors in college. That's so tough. It's a
Yeah.
really tough time.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sorry. That's sucky for you. Like I'm just sorry.
yeah. Um, well, yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate you getting on with me today, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
having me.
yeah, and it was great catching up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
been,
see, we wouldn't even been in college together and we're friends. You can have friends that are
yeah,
younger. It's awesome.
yeah. Well, that'll be it for our interview today with Lauren. But I just want to put a plug in for our office. Like we've been saying, this first 6 months to a year can be challenging, and there are going to be times where things just kind of come out of the blue and surprise you, and you think, "Wow, I did not think I was going to have to deal with that." And we want you to know that we're here, that we have plans for our homecoming events and other things to get you guys back together, to get you guys back connected, and we want to make sure that we do a good job of that. In this first 6 months to a year, and honestly, till you're old and gray, and you're still loving Lipscomb and loving your friends that you've made because of it. So please reach out to our office and follow our links on social media. Our Facebook page is Lipscomb Alumni Association, and then our Instagram handle is Lipscomb ALU. So please follow us for more information about how you can stay connected and you can stay involved. But hey, Lauren, I appreciate you again. And again, so good to catch up.
Yeah, thanks, Ralston. Go
Yeah.
Bisons.
Yeah. Go Bisons. See you, Lauren.
Bye.